Welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. Today we're going to look into the Zodiac Killer. The only thing on this guy is...
I love how you led with that. The Zodiac Killer. You got it real deep. You got kind of... Not Vincent Price with it. You got kind of... You got a little Vin Diesel on it, man. Next thing you know, I mean, you're going to pull it out and you're going to be like... We don't need the Zodiac Killer because we got family. No?
God, I could have done that.
Okay.
All right. The only thing that's known at the Zodiac Killer is a picture of a guy with glasses and short hair. But the Zodiac Killer killed during the time frame of December 1968 to October 1969. The only victims that they know of is 5 confirmed, 2 injured, and possibly 20 to 28 claimed kills. Probably around
20 to 28 dead, but he claims to have killed 37.
Yeah. And they don't know if it's just in California, around the San Francisco area, or there's also some that he might have killed in Nevada. But his first, because we don't have that much on the Zodiac Killer, because he technically never been caught, even though there's speculations they did actually catch the guy because the killing stopped as soon as he was in jail. But they couldn't prosecute him because of the... I can't believe I said that word. But they prosecuted a guy...
You said it again. Look at you.
I have to divvy down all this way down on this thing to get the guy.
Yeah, even though he claimed to have committed 37 murders and letters to newspapers, investigators agree on only 7 confirmed victims, 2 of whom survived. They are David Arthur Faraday, 17, Betty Lou Jensen, 16, shot and killed on December 20th of 68 on Lake Herman Road within the city limits of Benicia. Michael Renaud Magot, 19, Darlene Elizabeth Farron, 22, shot on July 4th, 1969 in the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. While Magot survived the attack, Farron was pronounced dead on arrival at Kaiser Foundation Hospital. Brian Calvin Hartnell, 20, and Cecilia Ann Shepard, 22, stabbed on September 27th of 69 at Lake Berryessa in Napa County. Hartful survived 8 stab wounds to the back, but Shepard died as a result of her injuries on September 29th of 69. Paul Lee Stein, 29, shot and killed on October 11th of 69 in the Presidio Heights neighborhood in San Francisco. So, I think, how most of the serial murders that we've profiled on this show, they kind of had like an MO, whether it be the torso killer or John Wayne Gacy or the dating show killer or Ted Bundy. He didn't have a specific way of doing things. I mean, he's either stabbing people or he's shooting them, but there's no like ritualistic anything to it. He just kind of targets of opportunity kind of a thing. At least that's the way that it appears.
Yeah. What's the other strange thing about this was the code that he ended up giving out to the press that just, I want to say a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was last year that the cipher was actually cracked. And you can look at it online because it's just a bunch of gibberish, really. I mean, it was interesting that they didn't know how to figure out the code until like a good 51 years.
Yeah, it was a 408 symbol cipher, including faithful transliterations of spelling and grammar errors in the original. The meaning, if any, of the final 18 letters has not been determined.
Yeah, and he more or less did it at the Bay Area in San Francisco. go on the Lake Herman Road murders. The first murder is widely attributed to the Zodiac Killer, where the shootings of high school student Betty Lou Jensen and David Arthur Fairway on December 20th, 1968, on the Lake Herman Road, just inside Benicia city limits. The couple were on their first date, planning to attend the Christmas concert at Hogan High School. About 3 blocks from Jensen's home, they instead visited a friend before shopping at the local restaurant. Wait a minute. Shopping at a stopping. That messed up my dyslexia real quick. Stopping at a local restaurant and then diving out to Lake Herman, which is considered the Lover's Corner. Utilizing the available friend as dated Robert Gray Smith's postulated that another car pulled up, turns out around about 11 p.m. And they only stopped at the lake at 10:15, and it only took them 45 minutes to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably in that time frame where they actually were dead. The killer then shot Jensen 5 times in the back as she fled. Her body was found 28 feet from the car. Then the killer drove off. The next murder was at Blue Rock Springs just before midnight on July 4th, 1969. Darlene Farron and Michael McGew drove into Blue Rock Springs Park in Valley Joe, 4 miles from the Lake Herman Road murder site, and parked while the couple in Farron's car, a second car, drove into the lot, parked alongside them, and almost immediately drove away. Returning about 10 minutes later, the second car parked behind them. The driver of the second car then exited the vehicle, approached the passenger side door of Farron's car, carrying a flashlight and a 9mm Luger. The killer directed the flashlight into McGew's and Farron's eyes before shooting at them. God, this whole thing written horribly. Firing 5 times, both victims were hit. Several bullets had passed out McGew and into Farron. The killer walked away from the car, but upon hearing McGew's moaning, returned and shot both. How did they get all this information if they're both dead?
Probably from the coroner's reports, from the investigating officer that responded to the scene first. Because what they'll do at a murder scene is they'll secure the scene, because that way they can reduce the amount of contamination to the evidence. They'll look for things like drag marks, disturbed soil, stuff like that, blood trails. Even then, and I know it sounds all Dexter-esque, but they'll have like a splatter specialist come in and they'll look to see, based on the splatter pattern or spray pattern of the blood, they'll figure out what the angles are. They've got forensic scientists that will come in and take a look at it.
Yeah, but how did they know that the guy, Michael, was actually moaning and then returned for the next shot?
Unless that was included in a letter that he wrote to one of the papers.
It had to be. But
because I don't see any of these sources taking that degree of artistic liberties.
But most of the victims were at a Lover's Lane type deal.
Yeah.
I guess he had something that he hated people that are happy and about to enjoy the night in a secluded spot. But you also got to look at, that's actually depending on how many vehicles are there, usually at a spot like that, there's usually no vehicles. That's the reason why it's a lover lane type spot. But, God, it's gotta suck that, you go out to go have some peace and quiet, and usually these people probably have roommates and everything like that, or some of them that are high school students wanted to, didn't want to take the stuff home.
Right.
It's just really sad that you do something to interrupt just kids having fun, basically type deal.
Yeah.
But what's really strange about other than the cipher and everything like that is he went into the newspapers and just kept on harassing the police department. He was one of those ones that he believed that he couldn't be caught, antagonizing the police department, and they couldn't really do anything because the person that they got that they suspected was Arthur Lee Allen. He was most likely suspect.
Mm.
Let me go into here. And he looks nothing of the photo. I can show you the photo of him. He doesn't. The Arthur Lee Allen is a very chubby man. I'll post it up the picture of the actual.
When did he get arrested?
Hold on, real quick, because I think he was arrested several times. No, that just did that.
Well, because like he would leave clues at the door, on the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wrote an inscription on Hartnell's door, the door of his vehicle. He put the Zodiac sign on there. Vallejo, 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27/69 at 6:30 by knife. So I think this guy got off on taunting the police when they, because there was these people that they said that he broke the cipher, right, or that they broke the cipher, and the best that they can discern from it was that he was gathering slaves for the afterlife, and that he's going to be reborn after he dies into paradise, and the people that he's killed are going to be his slaves.
Yeah, but the Arthur Allen Lee Allen, gosh, the only reason why he was a suspect is all evidence against Allen is circumstantial. Now, the stuff with Mr. Allen here is his personal life. He was dishonorably discharged from the Navy in 1958. He also lost his job as an elementary school teacher in 1968 for violating molestation school children. In 1974, he was arrested for molesting children and serving at his sentence at a Sorrento State Hospital until 1977. He was found interested in killing animals as a kid and torturing bugs, a direct claim from Karen Allen, his mother. But the evidence they had on him, they couldn't match anything to where this is the circumstancing evidence. The fingerprints and palm prints didn't match. The DNA didn't match. Handwriting didn't match. He didn't wear glasses. He was old with gray-black hair. And a lot of people said, this is the guy. They've always caught him. And, yeah, the Allen was a douchebag. and he was someone that should have been like murked beforehand, being a pedophile and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But all the evidence didn't show him.
Yeah.
The,
I think that they just looked at him and they were like, okay.
It was one of those cop moments to where they're trying to be lazy and try to.
Yeah. They were getting pressure from not only their supervisors but from the media, from the public. They need to find somebody, because I think at that point the general public just wanted to feel safer. And when they came out and said, "Hey, we caught him," I think at that point, whoever the actual Zodiac killer was just like, you know what? I'm going to stop. Because if he would have kept killing, he wouldn't have been able to control himself, and he would have continued to write the letters. He would have continued to leave the ciphers at the scenes of the crime.
They would have eventually found him.
And they would have eventually found him. And the guy that everybody was touting as being the Zodiac killer would have been at least exonerated on those charges. He would probably still serve time and been sentenced for his pedophilia, but it would have made the cops look bad. It really would have. And part of me wants to think that he wanted to get caught, but the other part of me wants to think that he knew when to say enough was enough. It's almost like it's one of those rare exceptions when a killer has gotten his satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's almost like his craving ceased. It was, I guess, kind of like quitting smoking for him. He had that urge, and he went out and did these things. He claimed he pumped his numbers up because, 5 confirmed kills. I mean, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, another thing on this one is a lot of the media coverage, because a lot of the stuff was shipped to the media.
Mm-hmm.
And it became one of those fascinating cases. It's like Jack the Ripper. We're never going to really figure out who Jack the Ripper really was, because one, we weren't in that time frame, and two, he never was caught.
Yeah.
Like this one, there's speculation who it was. They've made several movies about this case. Several TV shows try to figure it out. There's a lot of conspiracy theories on this, because everybody thought from the 50 years that it was out. People came up, was like, "Oh, I figured out the Zodiac code. I've done this," and it's just one of these cases to where it's gonna live in infamy until we actually, one day they're like doing those murder houses and they find all the ciphers and everything.
Yeah, or he may be alive still, and then eventually when he dies and they start going through, his family goes through his estate and they find all this crap. Past that,
because Arthur Lee Allen is dead already.
Yeah.
He passed away through natural causes, which he should have had much more worse than natural causes.
Well, he died in prison, though, didn't he?
No, he died in a mental institution.
No, well, still, he was off the streets.
No, he was at his home.
Oh, well,
in
never
Vallejo.
mind. Vallejo?
Vallejo.
Yes.
But sadly enough, there's all this speculation and everything, but this one's a short episode only because there's a lot of information of who died and everything like that, but all the randomness of this case, we really can't say who it was or who did it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it for this episode of Psychos and Sociopaths. And I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
Look us on Facebook, Instagram, and
Twitter.
Twitter. And we'll catch you all next time.